Okay. All right, and we are live. So today we have June 5th, 2014. It is approximately 1 p.m. Today we're speaking with George Stavrou of thestavroumethod.com. I am Alan Gregory, the Alliance Director of B2B Power Alliance. How are you, George?
Fantastic, Alan. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I just want to just a few brief questions to kind of introduce you to the members and other people who may see this video.
Yep,
So
definitely.
the first question is, can you tell me a little bit about your business?
Yeah, my business is a little bit different, say, from some of my competitors out there. I take a preventative approach to health and wellness.
Okay.
So some of my competition, it's like, they'll release a get in shape package, and there's certainly a market for something like that. But just because a person is fit doesn't necessarily mean that they're healthy. So you could have somebody that, does very well in their gym, you know, very strong, has great cardiovascular, but could have a lot of underlying health issues that they may not be aware of. So, even though my program actually focuses on the fitness side, the main focus is actually getting people healthier. So if there's any kind of, family history of issues, we try to deal with that first before embarking on the fitness side.
Like a preventative maintenance thing, like you said.
Exactly, yeah. So take care of the problem before it gets worse, rather than spending a lot of time, money, and energy into somebody down the road when they have an illness that is probably preventable in the first place.
Right. Okay, well, a little bit more specific to that question is, what services do you provide and what problems do you solve for business owners?
Okay. So on an individual basis, I do in-home consultations with my clients. So it's helping them with their fitness assessments, nutritional suggestions, supplement recommendations, in-home exercise programs. I'm also branching off into the area of corporate health and wellness to ensure that a company's employees are not just reducing, say, their sick time, but reducing what's called presenteeism. And I don't know if you're familiar with that term or not,
I guess
but
it's the opposite of absenteeism.
well, it's something like that I learned about from our mutual friend J.P. Maroney,
Hmm.
because a lot of times, like when people are ill, they still go to work and they're present, but they're not as productive as they could be.
Hmm.
So maybe they're working at, say, 50 or 60% capacity rather than 100% because they still haven't overcome their illness. So the whole idea of what I'm trying to do with the Stavrou method is to keep people healthier, reduce their stress levels, make them more productive, which also impacts the company's bottom line.
Absolutely. And this question may seem a little repetitive, but it's a little bit more specific. So, what's your competitive advantage? What do you do better than anyone else who does the exact same thing that you do?
I would say it's like, the fact that we do focus on prevention,
Hmm.
rather than treatment. That's certainly a big part of it. And I've got a team of experts on board that contributed to our package. So it's not just me going in as one expert that tries to make the claim that I'm knowledgeable in so many different areas. There's actually five of us, myself included, and combined we have over 150 years experience in the health and wellness industry. And we're also building a community. Well, Alan, like, here's a little bit of an analogy. It's like if somebody's building a house, they don't always need a hammer and nails to construct something. It's
True.
different tools in a toolbox. So there's times like your person may need to consult with, say, a chiropractor or a massage therapist or a naturopath or an acupuncturist. So we're doing more of a holistic approach to health and wellness.
Nice.
Thank you.
So how would you best describe your ideal prospect? I mean, the perfect person for your product or service.
I would say we're looking more at, say, the baby boomers that are out there.
Hmm.
Reason being, chances are, their parents are either at the age of senior citizens or very close to it, so they got to worry about their parents' health. And at the same time, they're looking at their children as they're growing up and saying, well, how healthy are our children going to be down the road? So,
Interesting. Okay, so that's pretty much the core questions. Now we want to get into a little bit more specific in terms of the alliance. So tell us why you're excited to be a part of the alliance.
well, I love the approach that JP takes there. He's a wealth of information, a brilliant marketer. One of the reasons why I'm very excited about this, because I've been part of other, say, alliances and networking groups in the past, and what sets JP's approach apart, like, say, from the other competitors, is the fact that there's one expert per area,
Yes.
rather than dozens of experts competing for the same market.
Right. And one of the things, the reason we did it that way is because we realized that that was the huge gap in the market. Like, you can't have everybody doing the same thing and then talking to each other customers, because it ends up being competitive. We wanted this to be exclusive and non-competitive, which is totally different than most of those things out there.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what value do you believe you'll be able to contribute to the Alliance and your fellow members?
I would say the fact that I do take a holistic approach to health and wellness, and I'm open to networking with other like-minded individuals as far as, getting the word out about health prevention in general, because like it's certainly a big problem in North America. I'm not too sure what the stats are like for the U.S., but I know in Canada, 5% of our healthcare funding goes towards prevention, and 95% goes towards treatment.
Wow.
So it's a huge area that it's not so much pumping more money into the system, it's redirecting the resource that we currently have.
So it's being smart about it.
Exactly.
Okay. And I like to save this question for last, even though it probably should have been first, because it's a really juicy one. So can you tell us a little bit about how you got started?
This goes back probably to early high school days, watching a lot of the Steve Reeves movies where he played Hercules, and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Pumping Iron. Those are probably my two main influences.
Okay.
And it would start off as a hobby for me, end up becoming a career. Just taking the course I need to become certified as a personal trainer. I also have a background as a BA in psychology from York University, so it certainly ties into the mental health aspect also.
Right. Awesome. George, we are going to do a lot of good things with you. We're glad to have you on board with us. We've got so much planned, and as you know, we're still at the very beginning of the stages of this, so we're still in its infancy. But we've got a lot planned. We've got webinars, we've got trainings, we've got telesummits, we've got live events, we've got all this stuff coming down the pipeline. And for you to be here, just talking about health and wellness in general for people as well as corporations, it's going to be huge for you as well as the other members of the Alliance. We're glad to have you on board.
Oh, I'm very happy to be on board, Alan. And if anybody needs to reach out to me and has any questions about their health or wellness, feel free to visit me on my website or contact me directly at my email, george@thestavrou.com.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Not at the moment, but I'm one of those guys where I tend to sleep on things, Alan, so if I come up with something, I know where to find you, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for spending time with me, George.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.